Hi, I'm George Crump, Chief Marketing Officer with StorONE. In the modern data center that has to deal with pandemics and things like that, the environment has become more lights out than ever, and access to that data center has become very restricted. We recently did a survey where 100% of the respondents indicated that because of COVID-19, they have much more restricted access to their data center. So that means that your storage system now has to operate with failed equipment within the infrastructure itself. So let's talk about how we do that. So the first thing that we do is we provide an active cluster. And these are two off-the-shelf servers running our S1 software. They're cross-connected. If one of them fails, the other takes over and keeps right on going. The good news is in the normal operating state, we'll leverage both systems for I/O. So we'll get high performance and leverage all the equipment that you've provided to us. Now, we can use active because we have a feature called direct write. And what direct write allows us to do is write I/O to media without the use of a RAM cache. And that makes our cluster much more simple to configure and design. I don't need to worry about mirroring RAM. I don't have to worry about split brain on a failure. It just becomes a lot better. From a data perspective, that also means that when I acknowledge a write, it is actually on media. It's not in some transitory state in some sort of a RAM cache. So your data integrity goes way up as well. Now, the next step is, what if one of these fails and you still can't get to the data center for some reason? That might concern you. So what we provide is a synchronous replication to another set of S1 servers on-prem. Those, you could have one or two. So you can run it in a single availability or high availability. They would also connect to similar media. Since this is a synchronous replication, the performance has to be very similar. And allows you to now have complete redundancy. So if you have a failure here, you can either decide to run as one node or fail over entirely to your synchronous pair right there. To protect against total site failure, we have the ability to asynchronously replicate to another set of S1 servers in the DR site. That, one of the nice things about our solution is that pair right there, because the replication is asynchronous, they could use hard disk drives if you wanted to keep costs down, or it could be a mix of a small flash tier and hard disk drives. So either way works there. Makes for a very, very reliable environment. So what this gives you is bulletproof protection in a scenario where you can't get to the data center either at all or on a very infrequent basis. You have active protection. If a single node fails here, you can continue operations. If it's going to be a while before you can fix that failed node, you can fail over to a synchronously replicated system in that primary data center with no problem at all. You can then asynchronously replicate to a DR site. That DR site can now protect in case a total site failure. So in any scenario, you are now protected. The other thing is we make this affordable. For most environments, you could be talking literally millions of dollars in hardware investment. These are off-the-shelf servers. So you're not going to spend a ton of money for the hardware. That's usually the prohibitive factor here. These need to be similar in the synchronous environment because we are synchronously writing data between them. The remote site could be different server class altogether, and as I showed before, even different media technology. So that's one way that we provide a mechanism that you can continue storage infrastructure operations without having to go to the data center very often. We have other features like our VRAID and our snapshots that can help you with more day-to-day things like media failure or user error. To learn more, click on the link below. That'll take you to our Invincible Data Protection page on our site, and it'll tell you all about these features as well as our VRAID and snapshot capabilities. I'm George Crump, Chief Marketing Officer at StorONE. Thanks for watching.